president is on a tour to show gratitude to the people for their support in the 2020 elections, and he is currently in the Upper West region. President Mahama had 67% of the total votes in the region for the presidential tally, while the NDC increased its parliamentary seats from 6 to 8. Former President Mahama said the election of Mr. Alban Bagbin as Speaker of Parliament is a sign of good fortunes for the country. He said this is because his election and the hung parliament will keep the government on its toes to ensure accountability. The NDC's 2020 flag bearer said, but for the manipulation of the election results in the constituencies, the NDC would have had absolute majority in parliament.
We increased our seats from 106 to 137, and we brought the MPP from 169 to 137. But for the arm twisting that they twisted against us in some constituencies, we would have had the clean majority in parliament. But there are some of the constituencies, soldiers invaded the coalition centers and manipulated the results and took the seats away from us.
Mr. Mahama said the Upper West region has benefited a lot from development projects during the tenure of the NDC government. He appealed to the government to provide seed capital for the Upper West Regional Hospital to enable it to function fully. He questioned why the government is rather focusing on building new hospitals when it is not resourcing existing hospitals to function effectively.
I also want to draw the President's attention to the Upper West Regional Hospital. Since he commissioned it, the hospital has not been given seed money to operate fully, and so it's not operating at full capacity. That is supposed to be the regional hospital, major referral hospital for the people of the Upper West. And if they get the seed capital and are able to employ to cover all sections of the hospital, it will provide good service to the people of this region. And so while we think about building more hospitals, we must fully utilize the capacity that we have already.
The overlord of the Wala traditional area, Naf Hussein Seidu Pelpu, commended Mr. Mahama for exhibiting a high level of statesmanship during and after the 2020 elections. Na Pelpu said the conduct of the former president after the Supreme Court ruling on the election petition shows he is a man of peace who has the development of his people at heart. Mr. Mahama, who was accompanied by his running mate for the 2020 general elections, Professor Nana Jane Opokwajiman, and the national chairman of the NDC, Mr. Ofusuampofu, interacted with members of the local council of churches, as well as called on the Catholic bishop of the Wa Diocese, Most Reverend Richard Kuri Bawabir, at his office. Former President Mahama also visited a portion of the Wa Nadoli-Laura Highway, which was washed away by floods. He presented 50 bags of rice, cement, and 20 packets of zinc roofing sheets to some of the people affected by the floods.